I went down to Nyos. There was no people. Everybody was dead.
Just sitting among the dead people. Inside the house, some of them were outside. Some of them behind the houses. Animals everywhere. Lying, fowls, dogs, cows, everything. So I was confused by then.
Hidden in the heart of Africa, the Congo harbors secrets that have left scientists, explorers, and researchers stunned. From ancient civilizations buried beneath the dense rainforest to unexplainable phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality, these discoveries have sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Deep within its mysterious borders lie findings so extraordinary they've captured global attention and sparked endless debates. From mutant species that defy evolution to underground cities that shouldn't exist, and geological anomalies that challenge the laws of physics. What you're about to witness are 30 of the most terrifying discoveries ever made in the Congo. Findings that have not only baffled experts, but have forever changed our understanding of what's possible on Earth. 30. The Lake Kivu methane time bomb. Deep beneath Lake Kivu, straddling the border between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, lies one of Earth's most dangerous natural phenomena. Scientists have discovered approximately 300 cubic kilometers of carbon dioxide and 60 cubic kilometers of methane trapped under immense pressure in the lake's depths. This deadly combination makes Lake Kivu a potential exploding lake, similar to Lake Nyos in Cameroon that tragically killed nearly 1,800 people in 1986. The gases, if released suddenly due to volcanic activity or other disturbances, could suffocate millions of people living around the lake's shores. Researchers have found that the gas concentrations are steadily increasing, making the situation more precarious with each passing year. The lake's unique geological position, sitting atop an active rift valley, adds to the complexity and danger of the situation. While local authorities and international scientists work to implement safety measures and early warning systems, the threat of a catastrophic gas release looms large over the region's 2 million inhabitants. The discovery of this underwater time bomb has led to urgent calls for continued monitoring and mitigation efforts to prevent what could become one of Africa's worst natural disasters. 29. The giant Congolese ground snake. In 2021, researchers working in the remote regions of the Congo Basin made a startling discovery that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. They encountered a previously unknown species of snake that dwarfs most known serpents, with specimens measuring up to 30 feet in length. Unlike typical snakes, this species exhibits unusual behavioral patterns, including coordinated hunting strategies previously unobserved in reptiles. Local inhabitants have long spoken of massive serpents in their folklore, but scientists dismissed these accounts as mere legends until physical evidence emerged. The snake's scale patterns are unlike anything previously documented, suggesting it may represent an entirely new genus. Most disturbing is its hunting behavior. It appears to be capable of taking down prey as large as small elephants, using a combination of constriction and powerful venom. The discovery raises concerns about biodiversity and human safety in the region, as these creatures have been spotted increasingly closer to human settlements. Research teams have documented several instances where these snakes have constructed elaborate underground tunnel systems, showing remarkable intelligence and adaptation to their environment. 28. The forgotten city of Kikongo. Deep in the Congo Basin, satellite imagery and subsequent ground expeditions revealed the remnants of an ancient megalopolis that rewrites African history. The city, spanning over 40 square miles, contains sophisticated architectural structures that date back to the 12th century. What makes this discovery particularly chilling is the evidence suggesting its sudden and violent abandonment. Archaeologists found layers of ash and human remains frozen in positions of panic, indicating a catastrophic event that wiped out the entire population in a matter of hours. Carbon dating of organic materials points to a massive disaster around 1400 CE. The most disturbing aspect is the discovery of advanced metallurgical workshops containing alloys that shouldn't have been possible to create with medieval technology. These findings challenge our understanding of human technological development. Within the city's central temple, researchers uncovered wall inscriptions depicting astronomical events and what appears to be a warning about a recurring celestial phenomenon. The alignment of the city's main structures with specific celestial bodies suggests its builders possessed sophisticated astronomical knowledge that rivals ancient Egyptian engineering. 27. The mutant plant species. In the heart of the Congo rainforest, botanists stumbled upon a collection of plant species that defied conventional biology. These plants exhibit unprecedented levels of mutation, with some specimens showing characteristics of multiple species simultaneously. The most alarming discovery was a species of flowering plant that produces toxic spores capable of causing severe respiratory issues in mammals. Tests revealed that these mutations weren't random, but appeared to follow a pattern suggesting deliberate genetic modification. The plants show signs of rapid evolution, with new variations appearing within months rather than the expected thousands of years. Some specimens demonstrate carnivorous behavior far more sophisticated than known carnivorous plants, with one species developing a form of primitive nervous system. Environmental scientists worry these aggressive mutants could outcompete native species and spread beyond their current containment zone. Most concerning is the discovery that these plants can communicate and coordinate their behavior across significant distances, possibly through underground fungal networks. Local wildlife has begun showing unusual behavioral changes in areas where these plants are prevalent, raising concerns about their impact on the ecosystem. 26. The underground river network. A massive underground river system discovered beneath the Congo basin has left scientists baffled and concerned. This vast network of interconnected waterways spans thousands of miles and contains water with unusual chemical properties. The water shows extremely high levels of radioactive isotopes and unknown organic compounds that seem to alter the genetic makeup of aquatic life. Explorers have documented bizarre albino fish species, with features suggesting rapid adaptation to the underground environment. The most unsettling discovery was a series of perfectly circular tunnels that appear to have been artificially created, yet carbon dating places their origin before the emergence of human civilization. The water pressure in certain sections defies known physics principles, flowing upward against gravity without any apparent explanation. Research teams have recorded unusual acoustic phenomena emanating from the deeper sections of the river system, rhythmic pulses that some scientists believe could be a form of communication. The network's existence poses serious questions about the stability of the region's groundwater and the potential for catastrophic sinkholes. 25. The mineral anomaly zone. In a remote region of the Congo, geologists identified an area where the laws of mineralogy seem to break down. The zone, roughly 10 square kilometers in size, contains mineral formations that shouldn't be possible under Earth's known geological conditions. Crystals found in the area exhibit properties that violate established laws of crystallography, including impossible symmetrical patterns and unexplainable growth rates. Most disturbing is the discovery of metallic compounds that appear to reorganize their molecular structure spontaneously, defying our understanding of chemical bonds. The soil in this region shows abnormally high concentrations of rare earth elements, but in combinations that don't occur naturally anywhere else on Earth. Equipment brought into the zone often malfunctions and compass readings become erratic. Several research teams have reported experiencing time dilation effects while working in the area, with their watches showing significant discrepancies compared to the outside world. The zone appears to be expanding slowly, raising concerns about its potential impact on surrounding ecosystems and human settlements. 24. The ancient virus repository. Scientists exploring deep cave systems in the Congo discovered a repository of prehistoric viruses preserved in crystalline formations. These viruses, some dating back millions of years, show signs of activity despite their age. Analysis revealed that several of these viral strains are unlike anything in current biological classification systems, suggesting they evolved along completely different lines than known viruses. What makes this discovery particularly frightening is evidence that some of these viruses are beginning to revive as the cave's temperature rises due to climate change. Laboratory tests indicate these ancient pathogens could potentially bypass modern immune systems, having evolved long before current human immunity developed. The crystalline structures containing the viruses appear to have preserved them in a state of suspended animation, maintaining their viability over millions of years. Most concerning is the discovery of viral strains that can survive in multiple types of hosts, from bacteria to complex organisms, suggesting an unprecedented level of adaptability. 23. The sound anomaly. In a specific region of the Congo rainforest, researchers detected an inexplicable acoustic phenomenon that defies current understanding of sound physics. The area experiences regular occurrences of infrasound waves that seem to originate from deep underground, yet no geological activity explains their source. These sound waves have been observed to affect local wildlife behavior dramatically, causing mass migrations and unusual breeding patterns. The most disturbing aspect is the discovery that these frequencies appear to follow mathematical patterns, suggesting intelligence rather than natural occurrence. Electronic equipment in the area frequently malfunctions, and researchers have reported experiencing intense psychological effects, including time perception distortions and vivid hallucinations. Acoustic monitoring stations have recorded these sounds intensifying over time, with new frequency patterns emerging periodically. The local vegetation shows unusual growth patterns that correlate with the sound wave's intensity, suggesting some unknown influence on biological processes. Some scientists theorize these sounds might be remnants of an ancient warning system, though this remains speculation. 22. The metallic sphere field. In an isolated valley, researchers discovered hundreds of perfectly spherical metallic objects varying in size from a few centimeters to several meters in diameter. These spheres, buried at various depths, appear to be made of an unknown alloy that maintains a constant temperature regardless of environmental conditions. Most puzzling is their arrangement in a precise geometric pattern that extends for several kilometers. When exposed to certain frequencies, the spheres emit a low humming sound and show signs of subtle movement. Analysis reveals they contain hollow centers filled with an unidentified liquid that seems to defy normal physical properties. Dating attempts have been inconclusive, as the material doesn't respond to conventional dating methods. Most disturbing is the discovery that the spheres appear to be slowly rising toward the surface at a rate of a few millimeters per year. Several spheres show signs of ancient tool marks and inscriptions in an unknown script, suggesting artificial origin despite their apparently impossible age. 21. The biological anomaly zone. Scientists identified a region where evolution seems to be accelerated exponentially. Within this zone, spanning several square kilometers, plants and animals show rapid genetic mutations occurring within observable timeframes rather than over generations. The most alarming discovery is the emergence of hybrid species that combine features from different genera, defying established evolutionary theory. Researchers have documented plants developing rudimentary nervous systems and insects showing signs of collective intelligence far beyond normal hive behavior. The soil in this region contains unknown microorganisms that appear to facilitate these rapid evolutionary changes. Most concerning is evidence suggesting this accelerated evolution is spreading beyond the zone's original boundaries. Several new species discovered in the area show characteristics that seem designed for specific purposes, raising questions about potential artificial influence on these evolutionary processes. Local wildlife exhibits behavior patterns that suggest significantly enhanced intelligence, including tool use in species not known for such capabilities. 20. The temperature inversion phenomenon. In a specific valley of the Congo basin, scientists discovered a persistent temperature anomaly that contradicts known physics principles. The area maintains a stable temperature inversion where colder air remains at ground level, while hot air stays trapped above, creating a perpetual fog bank with unusual properties. This atmospheric condition has led to the evolution of unique life forms adapted to this inverted environment. The most disturbing aspect is the discovery of organisms that seem to exist in a state between liquid and gas, defying conventional biological classification. The fog itself exhibits strange properties, including the ability to conduct electricity and respond to sound waves in ways that suggest some form of organization. Research teams have documented instances where the fog appears to form patterns resembling mathematical equations. Local plant life has evolved unusual adaptations to harvest energy from this phenomenon, developing structures unlike anything seen in normal photosynthetic processes. 19. The crystal caves. Deep beneath the Congolese jungle, researchers uncovered a vast network of crystal caves containing formations that seem to grow and change shape in real time. These crystals emit low-level electromagnetic radiation and respond to human presence by altering their growth patterns. The most chilling discovery was finding perfectly preserved ancient organisms embedded within the crystal matrices, some showing signs of continued biological activity despite being trapped for millions of years. The caves maintain a constant temperature regardless of external conditions, and certain chambers contain crystals arranged in patterns suggesting artificial placement. Most disturbing is the discovery of crystal formations that appear to store and transmit information, similar to modern computer systems but using entirely different principles. Research teams have documented instances where the crystals seem to react to specific thoughts or emotions, suggesting some form of psychoreactive properties. The air within these caves contains unusually high concentrations of noble gases arranged in patterns that defy random distribution. 18. The temporal distortion zone. Scientists identified an area where time appears to flow at different rates compared to the surrounding region. Within this zone, measuring roughly 1 kilometer in diameter, various instruments show significant temporal discrepancies. The most alarming aspect is the discovery of organic matter that appears to age at accelerated or decelerated rates, depending on its position within the zone. Research teams have documented instances where electronic equipment records events before they occur, suggesting localized time dilation effects. The zone's boundaries appear to shift periodically following patterns that correlate with lunar cycles. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting the zone is gradually expanding, with similar temporal effects beginning to manifest in surrounding areas. Local flora shows bizarre growth patterns, with some plants completing entire life cycles within days, while others remain in suspended animation. The phenomenon affects electronic equipment in unpredictable ways, making detailed study of the area extremely challenging. 17. The living mountain. Researchers discovered a mountain formation that shows signs of being a single, massive organism. Initial surveys revealed complex networks of organic material running throughout the entire structure, suggesting some form of biological activity on an unprecedented scale. The most chilling aspect is evidence that this organism responds to external stimuli, with documented cases of the mountain's surface altering its structure in response to environmental changes. Seismic monitoring has detected patterns of movement that resemble heartbeats on a massive scale. The mountain appears to maintain its own ecosystem, with unique species found nowhere else on Earth living in symbiotic relationships with the main organism. Most disturbing is the discovery of what appears to be a primitive nervous system running through the entire formation. Local legends speaking of the mountain as a sentient being have gained new significance in light of these findings. Research teams have documented instances where the mountain seems to actively influence weather patterns in its vicinity. 16. The shadow phenomenon. In a specific region of the Congo rainforest, scientists observed an inexplicable phenomenon where shadows behave independently of their casting objects. These anomalous shadows appear to move against light sources and sometimes maintain their form even in complete darkness. The most alarming discovery was finding areas where these shadows seem to have mass and can interact with physical objects. Research teams have documented instances where the shadows appear to respond to human presence, exhibiting behavior suggesting some form of intelligence. Most disturbing is evidence that these shadow anomalies are gradually spreading beyond their original observation area. Local wildlife shows unusual adaptations to this phenomenon, with some species developing the ability to perceive and interact with these shadow entities. Electronic equipment often malfunctions in areas where the shadow phenomenon is most active, and researchers have reported experiencing unusual psychological effects when working in these zones. 15. The memory stone fields. Scientists discovered vast fields of crystalline formations that appear to store and replay environmental information from past events. These memory stones emit electromagnetic frequencies that, when properly decoded, reveal audio-visual information from various points in history. The most chilling aspect is the discovery that these stones continue to record current events, suggesting an ongoing process rather than a static historical record. Research teams have documented instances where the stones replay events that haven't yet occurred, raising disturbing questions about the nature of time and causality. The crystals show signs of artificial modification at the molecular level, despite predating known human civilization by millions of years. Most concerning is evidence suggesting these memory fields are gradually expanding their recording range, potentially threatening privacy and security in nearby areas. Local inhabitants report experiencing vivid shared visions when in proximity to larger crystal formations. 14. The quantum anomaly. Researchers identified a location where quantum effects, typically only observable at the atomic scale, manifest at the macro level. Within this zone, objects occasionally exist in multiple states simultaneously, and particle entanglement occurs spontaneously between larger objects. The most alarming aspect is the discovery that organic matter exposed to these conditions begins to exhibit quantum properties, leading to unprecedented biological phenomena. Research teams have documented cases where living organisms appear to exist in multiple locations simultaneously or transfer information instantaneously across significant distances. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting these quantum effects are gradually intensifying and spreading beyond the original observation area. Local wildlife shows signs of adaptation to these conditions, developing abilities that seem to defy classical physics. The zone appears to be affecting the fundamental nature of reality within its boundaries, raising concerns about its potential impact on the broader region. 13. The bioluminescent ecosystem. Deep within the Congo basin, scientists discovered an entirely self-contained ecosystem where all life forms exhibit advanced bioluminescent properties. Unlike normal bioluminescence, these organisms can generate and control light in ways that suggest conscious manipulation. The most chilling aspect is the discovery that these life forms communicate through complex patterns of light pulses that appear to carry information density comparable to human language. Research teams have documented instances where different species coordinate their lighting displays to create elaborate three-dimensional images. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting this ecosystem is gradually expanding its influence, with normal species beginning to develop bioluminescent properties when exposed to the area. The light patterns sometimes form recognizable symbols and mathematical equations, raising questions about the true nature of these organisms' intelligence. 12. The gravity well. Scientists identified a location where gravitational forces behave erratically, creating areas of both increased and decreased gravitational pull without any apparent mass concentration to explain these effects. The most alarming aspect is the discovery that these gravitational anomalies appear to follow patterns suggesting some form of intentional control. Research teams have documented instances where objects achieve temporary weightlessness or experience crushing gravitational forces without any clear triggering mechanism. Most disturbing is evidence that these gravitational distortions are gradually increasing in both frequency and intensity. Local wildlife shows unusual adaptations to these conditions, with some species developing the ability to predict and utilize these gravitational shifts. The phenomenon appears to be centered around a deep shaft that extends far below the Earth's surface, with gravitational effects intensifying near its opening. 11. The living metal deposits. Researchers discovered deposits of a metallic substance that exhibits properties of both inorganic matter and living organisms. This living metal appears capable of growth and self-repair, with specimens showing signs of responding to environmental stimuli. The most chilling aspect is evidence suggesting these deposits are slowly expanding through a process similar to biological reproduction. Research teams have documented instances where the metal forms structures resembling organic growth patterns and responds to electrical stimuli in ways that suggest neural activity. Most disturbing is the discovery that this substance can incorporate other materials into its structure, gradually converting them into more of itself. Local geological formations show signs of being slowly transformed by contact with this material, raising concerns about its potential impact on the environment. 10. The sound fossil layer. Scientists uncovered a geological layer containing crystalline formations that appear to have captured and preserved sound waves from millions of years ago. When subjected to specific frequencies, these crystals replay audio from their formation period with remarkable clarity. The most alarming aspect is the discovery of sounds that don't match any known prehistoric creature, including what appears to be structured communication. Research teams have documented instances where the crystals replay sounds of massive explosions and unusual atmospheric phenomena that predate known civilization. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting these sound fossils are still actively recording current sounds, creating a continuous archaeological record. The layer appears to extend throughout much of the Congo basin, forming what amounts to a prehistoric audio archive. Local research has revealed patterns in the recorded sounds that suggest the existence of advanced civilizations predating current historical records. 9. The temporal echo zone. Researchers identified an area where past events appear to replay themselves as ghostly images in the air, creating what scientists term temporal echoes. These apparitions show events from various points in history with increasing frequency and clarity. The most chilling aspect is the discovery that some of these echoes appear to show events from possible futures, raising disturbing questions about the nature of time. Research teams have documented instances where observers can interact with these temporal phenomena, though the consequences of such interactions remain unclear. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting these temporal echoes are gradually becoming more tangible and persistent. The zone appears to be centered around an ancient monument of unknown origin, with the frequency and intensity of events increasing near its base. Local inhabitants report experiencing vivid shared visions of both past and potential future events while in the area. 8. The mined coral colonies. Deep within the Congo River system, scientists discovered colonies of an unknown coral species that exhibits properties suggesting collective intelligence. These mined corals demonstrate the ability to solve complex problems and show signs of memory retention across the entire colony. The most alarming aspect is evidence that these organisms can influence the behavior of other aquatic life forms through unknown biological mechanisms. Research teams have documented instances where the corals appear to communicate with each other across vast distances, coordinating their activities in ways that suggest a shared consciousness. Most disturbing is the discovery that these colonies are gradually expanding their influence up river systems, potentially threatening the ecological balance of the entire region. The corals show signs of rapid evolution, developing new capabilities within observable timeframes. 7. The reality distortion field. Scientists identified a region where physical reality appears to become malleable, with objects and organisms occasionally transforming in ways that defy known physics. Within this zone, matter can spontaneously reorganize itself, and the laws of cause and effect become unreliable. The most chilling aspect is the discovery that these reality distortions seem to respond to conscious thought, suggesting some form of interaction between mind and matter. Research teams have documented instances where observers' expectations appear to influence the physical properties of objects within the zone. Most disturbing is evidence that this phenomenon is gradually expanding its boundaries, threatening to destabilize the fabric of reality in surrounding areas. Local wildlife shows signs of adaptation to these conditions, developing abilities that seem impossible outside the zone. 6. The ancient database. Researchers uncovered what appears to be a sophisticated information storage system embedded in ancient rock formations. These structures contain patterns that, when decoded, reveal vast amounts of technical and historical information from an unknown civilization. The most alarming aspect is the discovery that this database appears to update itself through unknown means, incorporating new information without any visible mechanism. Research teams have documented instances where accessing certain portions of the database triggers automatic defense mechanisms of unknown origin. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting the information stored within includes detailed records of human civilization's future development, raising questions about its true origin and purpose. The database appears to be part of a larger network extending throughout the Congo basin. 5. The consciousness crystals. Scientists discovered crystalline formations that appear to store and transmit consciousness-like patterns. These crystals show signs of containing imprints of mental activities from unknown entities. The most chilling aspect is evidence suggesting these crystals can interact with human consciousness, sometimes transferring unknown memories and experiences to those who come in contact with them. Research teams have documented instances where exposure to these crystals results in individuals gaining knowledge and skills they never learned. Most disturbing is the discovery that these consciousness patterns appear to be actively accumulating and evolving, suggesting some form of ongoing mental activity within the crystal matrix. Local inhabitants report experiencing shared dreams and memories after approaching these formations. 4. The time displacement zones. Researchers identified multiple locations where time flows at drastically different rates compared to the surrounding environment. These zones create temporal bubbles where minutes inside might correspond to days or weeks in the outside world, or vice versa. The most alarming aspect is the discovery that these temporal disparities appear to be increasing in intensity. Research teams have documented cases where individuals emerging from these zones have aged differently than expected, sometimes by years. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting these time displacement effects are gradually spreading beyond their original boundaries. Local flora shows bizarre growth patterns, with plants experiencing entire life cycles within hours or remaining unchanged for months. 3. The living language. Scientists discovered evidence of a previously unknown form of communication that appears to physically alter reality when expressed. This living language manifests as symbols that spontaneously appear in natural formations and seems to carry out the literal meaning of its expressions. The most chilling aspect is the discovery that these symbols can replicate themselves and evolve into new forms with different effects. Research teams have documented instances where the language appears to respond to human intentions, sometimes with unexpected and dangerous results. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting this phenomenon is gradually spreading, with new symbols appearing in previously unaffected areas. 2. The quantum archive. Deep beneath the Congo basin, researchers uncovered what appears to be an artificial structure that stores information in quantum states. This archive contains data encoded in ways that suggest technological capabilities far beyond current human understanding. The most alarming aspect is the discovery that this facility appears to be actively maintaining and updating itself through unknown means. Research teams have documented instances where the archive displays information about current events before they occur. Most disturbing is evidence suggesting the facility is part of a larger network of similar installations around the world, raising questions about its creators and purpose. 1. The consciousness nexus. Scientists identified a location where human consciousness appears to interface directly with unknown dimensions of reality. This nexus point creates phenomena that defy current understanding of physics and psychology. The most alarming aspect is evidence suggesting this site serves as a gateway for non-physical entities to interact with our reality. Research teams have documented instances where individuals in the area experience shared consciousness and access to information they couldn't possibly know. Most disturbing is the discovery that this nexus appears to be gradually expanding its influence, potentially altering the fundamental nature of human consciousness in the region. Local inhabitants report increasingly frequent experiences of collective consciousness and precognitive abilities near the site,